Hey everybody, Grizzly here with another first impressions video. This time I've got a new order of lights from Emisar Noctigon that I want to do just a quick run through and let you know what I think about these so far. So the first and most exciting one is going to be Noctigon DM11. This one is black anodized, obviously. I got a red switch LED and I have the aux LEDs set to red. Those are just lovely. Let me turn off some of these lights so we can have a look at those real quick. They're just beautiful. So bright. There's a really neat beam pattern of just the aux LEDs. And just for comparison, this is what a D4S V2 looks like. So this is a lot more defined than that. That's very, very cool. Let me get these lights turned back on. So I chose the Osram W1 emitter in this thing because I wanted it to be basically a little lightsaber. I enjoyed that about my Through Night Catapult Mini, which had the exact same optic and exact same emitter, and it was just really fun. And this thing does not disappoint. The hot spot is pretty narrow. It's really kind of hard to see on this mat, but it's pretty narrow. And the spill is really even, but really dim, like you would kind of expect from one of these large TIR optics. You know, the head on this thing is really, really nice. The machining's really great. The button placement is good. I can get a good purchase on it with the underside of the knuckle of my thumb here, or with the tip of my thumb, and that works just fine. What I really don't love so much is this body tube. This is the most aggressive texturing I have seen in any light so far, and it stinks. I am not a fan at all of this body tube. The texturing is super duper aggressive on your hand, kind of uncomfortable. It's not like gonna cut you sharp, but it's just not very comfortable. If you contrast that with the texturing on this D4S V2, it is really nice. There's something there to grab onto, but it's not so aggressive that it's gonna tear up your pocket or you know, be uncomfortable to hold. The other thing is the junction between the head and the body tube is big enough that a 26 millimeter cell could fit in there. But we don't have a 26 millimeter body. I'll get more into that a little bit later. It comes with a pocket clip. Let me find the box real quick and we'll have a look at that. This pocket clip, I'm not going to attach it because I don't want to scratch the anodizing too much. But this pocket clip is even worse than the body tube. The photos of it online show that this ramp, there's just almost no ramp, especially whenever it interacts with this section right here. You have to like grab the clip and lift it to be able to put it over a pocket. And even then, it's going to be squeezing your pants material between the pocket clip and this awful, super duper aggressive texturing. And it's just going to tear things to shreds. I have found that a Convoy universal clip fits okay. It's not the most secure thing in the world, but it'll hold it okay. And it doesn't squeeze anything, but it doesn't squeeze your pants material between the clip and the knurling. You have to be a little bit deliberate not to get this hooked on your pants. And if you have kind of fraying pockets like I do from carrying a bunch of flashlights, it likes to hook on threads and pull them out. It's really, really not designed for pocket carry. It's a little bit understandable. Like this is a decently large light, but it's small enough you can fit it in a pocket. And I think that anytime you've got a light that is capable of being put into a pocket, that should be considered, the pocketability of it. And I mean, Hank even made a pocket clip for it. The funny thing is this is just the worst pocket clip and body tube combination I've seen yet. And the funny thing is he also makes the best ones that I've seen, which is the Noctagon KR4 and KR1 body with this pocket clip. It is just so ergonomic. It works so well. There's plenty of ramp. It's nice and smooth. This is it, and it's captured, so you don't have to snap it on and off. This is a phenomenal clip, and I'm flabbergasted that the same man, Hank Wang, designed both one of my favorite clips ever and this atrocity. All right, enough of that. Other than that, this is pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. The user interface is fantastic as always. Anduril 2 is the best flashlight user interface available at the time of filming, and I adore it. I want it on everything, and I mean everything. I don't think now that it comes by default in the simple UI, I don't think there's an excuse for anyone not to be using Anduril 2 on any new eSwitch flashlights. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is probably the next most exciting thing. This is a 2-channel D4S V2, and I picked Osram W1s on one channel for really great throw, and Samsung LH351Ds on the other channel for really great flood. And because of the size difference of those emitters, I mean, the LH351Ds do flood really well. Let me switch over to Osrams real quick. You can see the hotspot size difference there. This is a lot nicer than the W1 and SST 24000K combo that I got last. Those SST 20s they just throw really well, which is not what I was looking for, because I want a light where I can have really great throw on one channel and really great flood on the other channel. And that's what this one does well. Now, I chose 5700K as the color temperature for those Samsung emitters, and he shipped them as 5000K. That's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a little bit concerning, because I know a lot of people are ordering these expecting the color temperature to be exactly the same between the two. We will see what he does about that. But I'm not too bothered by it. It's just such a good light to use. You'll see here, I've also got a 26800 body tube on it. This is new from him also. And it takes one of these massive 26800 batteries. And these are rated, this QB 26800 is rated at 6800 milliamp hours, but I actually tested it with my XStar VC8 Plus, and I got almost 7500 milliamp hours out of this one. And I've got two more cells that I also tested, and they're testing close to 7400. This one is a little bit over 7200. So that is just fantastic capacity. That's a huge increase from the 5500 milliamp hour capacity you get from a stock 26650 with the normal battery tube. So that is just fantastic. The head looks like a pretty normal D4S V2. There's not a new driver's side or visible side of the driver light for the 2-channel light like there is in the D4 V2 and KR4 2 channels, but this is just delightful. You'll see also I took my favorite pocket clip, that Noctigon KR4 clip, and what I did is I took a triangular file and I filed down the middle of the clip to kind of split it. So now I've got two arms instead of one continuous ring. And then I just slowly bent it out until I could fit it over these tail threads. Let me show you what I did in here, if I can get this off. I like to keep it pretty tight to hold that clip steady, but inside here, I've just got a little piece of copper wire. I believe this is 18 gauge that I bent and I put in here just to use as a conductive spacer to take up that extra thickness added by the pocket clip. So if I get this adjusted correctly, I can just tighten down this tail cap. There we go. And it clamps right down on that pocket clip, and the O-ring is still intact. I've seen a lot of people take the O-ring out and put the clip in that channel, and that works fine. It's probably a little bit even more secure than this, but this has worked great for me, and I can fit this in my pocket. There's definitely some printing, and you know it's there, but it is it is carryable. I've carried this on a few occasions whenever I know I'm going to be out and about in the dark a little bit, and it is just delightful. The ergonomics are incredible. I love this. I've got relatively large hands, And this added length on the body tube is really nice. I can get a full grip on it, and my pinky's not hanging off the end. And this pocket clip is really nice too, because I can kind of index there. It's just nice, and I can click it with the end of my thumb or the knuckle, the underside of the knuckle of my thumb, and it just works so well. Anduril 2 has developed a little bit on these 2-channel lights, so you can select between instant switching and tint ramping. I've got this one set up for instant switching because I think that works best with these when you're using two different models of emitter. The tint ramping works well whenever you've got two of the same emitter model, just in different color temperatures. But I love the ability to just click, click, hold, and switch between throw and flood. It's really, really fantastic. I did some quick measurements, and I'm getting somewhere between 55 and 60,000 candela from these Osram W1s, and I'm getting, if memory serves, about 23 or 2400 lumens on turbo just from the LH351Ds. And with the LH351Ds and Osram W1s together, I'm getting nearly 3500 lumens on turbo. And that's a really awesome flood from those LH351Ds combined with really great throw from the Osram W1s. Big, big fan of this light. Let's do a quick size comparison here with my previous favorite light overall. I would say this is really giving this E07X Pro run for its money. I can't carry this as much because it's just a little bit thicker and heavier, but the ergonomics are both really, really good. The beam profiles are really, really good. This one has a little bit better tint with the SST20 4000K FA4s. And it's really, really nice, but I'm loving this D4S V2. And I can, one of the other things I really appreciate is I can update it. This Fireflies, it has flashing pads on the driver, but Toy Keeper was not involved in the development of this particular light, and so there's no new firmwares available for it unless somebody else wants to go out and do that work of getting it updated. So there's that size comparison. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be this Noctigon KR4. Now, previously, I had a 2-channel KR4 with 219B 4500Ks on one channel and 219B 2700Ks on the other channel. And that was really nice, and I liked that light a lot. But I ended up selling it and buying this one, which is the same thing, except instead of having those two emitters on different channels, I've got one channel with 219B 2700K and a 219B 4500K. And then the other channel is Osram W1s. So I can theoretically be able to switch between flood and throw. And it works reasonably well. These Osram W1s are not very pretty in this light. You can see there's a lot of artifacts around that hotspot. It's not the kind of thing you notice when you're outside using it. The throw is pretty impressive. I measured just under 25,000 candela from these Osram W1s, which is substantially more than the 219Bs. I was getting less than 5,000 candela from them. But the 219Bs flood really well. The color temperature and CRI is just wonderful. And then I switch over to those W1s and you can see how much more intense they are. Really nice. Pocket clip's great. I'm not falling in love with this one like I am with this D4S V2, but it's pretty good. The jury's still out on whether I'm gonna keep it and really make this one of my new everyday carry lights or not. All right, last one, K1 SBT. I have been borrowing one of these in the cream color from Reddit user Calm Like a Bomb, and I did a review of this, which I'll link in the video description. Full review, and it's phenomenal. I like it a lot, and I liked it so much that I just went out and bought myself one because I really wanted this black color, and obviously I need to give this one back to Calm Like a Bomb. But it is fantastic. The only complaint I have is this. It just makes the most delightful noise when you unscrew the body tube. But I've tried a couple of these Noctigon K series lights, and they both do it as well. So I think that's just something that comes with these, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a little bit annoying. This is just an absolutely phenomenal light. The throw, the bright spill you get from this SPT 90.2 you can't beat it. I sold a Convoy 4X18A, which you might know I really love that 4X18A with an SPT 90.2. But this is just a little bit more polished, and having Anduril on this is incredible. I reflashed it with Anduril 2 as soon as I got it. I hadn't even turned it on yet. And I'm so glad I did. It works so well with Anduril 2. So thank you guys for watching this little first impressions video. I'm loving these new Hank lights. I plan on doing full reviews for most of them, so keep an eye out for that. Follow my Reddit page, my Reddit profile, Tactical Grizzly, or you can check out my website, grizzliesreviews.wordpress.com. Thanks, guys.